I appreciate those so much. And I would love if you have a story that you could share about maybe a child that that had a success story, right? Of learning differences who have achieved remarkable things, because I love that. And I know our children are so remarkable and they're so special. And so I just love hearing stories that uplift. And I would love to help parents that are listening and watching feel uplifted too, that there are success stories that happen.
I think the child that I mentioned who came after a suicide note and he was struggling with learning disability in math, and a lot of added pressure. So I have helped parent because they were too much frustrated, exhausted, doesn't know what to do. So I bring this analogy to them. I said, let's say, and remember both parents were physicians. So I bring this analogy based on their background that let's say if someone has a stroke, and because of the stroke, the right side leg is weak. And that person cannot move the leg, no matter how hard that person want to move the leg. And I said, let's say if you tell that person, I will give you $1,000, I will give you $5,000, I will bring the best motivation speaker, flying from, other part of the world. And then, when that person cannot move the leg, then, you are feeling you are so unappreciative, you're spoiled, you are getting all those resources. Look at, look at the people in Africa, they don't have any resources, but they are running around and there are so many, ways, you can see that child was struggling because of all those. So that analogy really resonates. So they see, they were able to, both parents were able to see that it was not a want territory, that this not that this child doesn't, my child does not want to excel in math, but it's a can't territory, that the child cannot do it. So that first create the understanding. And the first time this child who parents have been saying not been talking to them, he started crying and the parents started crying. And that, you see the crying sometimes is healing itself. Before they were screaming at him, he was screaming at them, you don't get, you're not good parent, I'm not good enough, I don't want to live, I wish I would have born to another family. And they were saying, we have helped you so much, our parents have not done. I mean, it was just ongoing. And now they both were crying and seeing, that this is a can territory. And, and then what resources, rather than they both are trying to, get the tutoring, all those things. Now, I encourage them to get the neuropsychological testing done. We talked to the school. School was very accommodating. We get the psychological testing done. We got the IEP, the child, and I reminded them, all the excellent, in English he was, in other subjects, in speaking, in soccer, and in so many other in creative, the arts, and the parents and encourage them to hone during summer break, get some camps that are, the arts related, that are more soccer. So keep honing, because, what parents were doing, they were taking away all those things so that he can focus more on the math. So whatever the strength was, whatever the comfort was coming, they were trying to take it away. Okay, if you're not doing at math, I'm taking away the soccer. If you're not doing this, I'm taking away these things. You have to earn. I mean, that's another big, you have to earn your arts and all those things. Otherwise, the whole weekend you will do all those things. So that was happening. So with this understanding, with this proper school accommodation with an IEP, so now, the parents are very happy. The child is excelling not only in math, but also in many other, areas. And so just, the simple example, just the simple understanding, just the simple, and I think this is where the role of a child psychiatrist, psychologist, mental health clinician should be, where we help not try to fix the problem of the child, not to just keep giving, some more, strategies, but also understand and connect both of their pain, and then try to find why the child is making that statement, rather than labeling a depression, rather than labeling anxiety, rather than labeling a opposition defiant disorder. So these are the diagnoses, that have been labeled on that child when it came to me. So rather than labeling those things, understanding what is happening, and then helping parents understand, and then give them some specific resources, some specific tools, some specific recommendation, so that they can move forward.
That's so true. That's so true. And that's something I always admire about you. And I always really appreciate is that you are a provider who seeks to understand on a different level. I think that, many providers say brilliant, they're very good. And I just it's a quick label and a quick diagnosis rather than trying to understand past the label because there may be something that's being missed. So I really appreciate that.